On a floor in the basement of the Calvary Baptist Church in Kherson, empty mattresses and a room full of cushions used as makeshift beds. For 7 long months, this was home to 46 Ukrainian babies and toddlers until the Russians took them away. All of them were orphans. Kherson was the first major city to fall to the invaders. A local orphanage, home to children from 4 months to 4 years old, was dangerously close to the fighting. There were battles, explosions, helicopters, and planes flying overhead, says the church pastor, Vadir Kozanets. But even more terrifying, the Russians started hunting for children. So the orphanage spirited away the young children under their care and hid them here in the basement of Kozanets' church. Some had just begun to walk, he says. I remember one coming to me and taking my finger in his hands. The conditions were Spartan, but they were safe, and the children cared for, protected, or so they thought. Then one day the Russians came for the children, first forcing them back to the orphanage, and then abducting them. The Russians were under fierce attack from Ukraine's army, Kozanets says, so they loaded the children onto buses and drove them in a column with Grad rocket launchers, using the children as human shields. Amid the daily reports of the horrors of war, the abduction barely made a ripple. On Telegram, the governor of Kherson Oblast posted that the Russians took the children to Crimea and pleaded for their return. Little Ukrainians illegally detained by the Russians must return to Ukrainian territory as soon as possible, the governor said. There are many other orphans in Kherson. We met some of them via video conference last spring. And when we went looking for them, some had been taken. Others had managed to hide in people's houses until the day of liberation. But they're the lucky ones. More than 8,000 children have been removed by the Russians. The forced removal of Ukrainian children to Russia is one of the most emotionally charged war crimes that the Russians are accused of. Ukraine is determined to get every child back from Russia. President Zelensky saying, Ukraine will not be conquered, our people will not surrender, and our children will not become the property of the occupiers. A warning that any peaceful resolution of the war may well hinge on their safe return. For now, Ukraine can only document this war crime, but there are so many children who have disappeared. In Kherson, no one has come yet to investigate. The number of suspected war crimes is so overwhelming. Chance?
My gosh, and you just wonder, what are they feeling? What are they thinking right now? Jason, I know you also mentioned another group of orphans who you introduced us back to all the way in March. You've been following their stories. Some of them were captured. What else do you know about them?
That's right. Well, we spent today with the director of the orphanage, as you mentioned, we spoke to back in the spring, and we've been following them throughout the war. He told us just a harrowing story of some orphans being abducted to Crimea and others who've been in hiding until just a few days ago, Chance.